That other half the end came up rather suddenly on me, Fred, so whatever you didn't hear, maybe I can pick up from here again. Well, we were just finishing up on the house as the tape was. Well, here it is now, September the 16th, and they're finishing up the painting probably the end of this week. They will redo the deck that the guy did, botched up in June. We'll have that finished in a week, and maybe then the landscaping will be finished. But it will look quite nice. I think that we'll have proved the old adage of some sort that you buy an old house, you pay several times over before it's before it's done right. Unfortunately. Well, I'm going to go to work tonight, and I'm going to catch up on some poster designs that I'm doing for one of Elsa's students' folks who own a ski lodge up on Mount Hood. I'm doing a ski poster for them, and he's going to come down tomorrow and see it, and I haven't gotten it finished yet because it's been just a little difficult for me to get it solved. So I'm going down there tonight and finish up on that work, and I'm going to let your two lovely friends here finish up this whole side of the tape. So I will say goodbye. I'll look forward to maybe hearing from you again, I'm certain. And if you ever come to town here to visit us, you may certainly stay in a wonderful old house. So say hello to Solja and everybody else there who wants to listen to this tape. Like drop-ins like Denny, anybody the jet set who flies around and visits you. So my regards to everybody. Take care. Goodbye.
It's me again. Joe just went to work and Mom and I are here. And I'll talk for a while, catching you up with things. I know we've been just terrible. We haven't written or sent a tape because it's just been so hectic. All summer between mounting that exhibit and the workmen traipsing in and out and all that, we just haven't done a heck of a lot. We're getting back, as Joe said, now that it's fall, we're getting back into being organized again. I did decide last winter that my teaching was getting so overwhelming that it was ridiculous. For the financial compensation, it just wasn't worth it. I'm not paid that well. And for what it drained of my time and my emotions, I just felt it was unnecessary. So I asked them if I could have an assistant, get rid of some of my classes, and the only way it could be done is each of us splitting my salary and taking half the load. So we did, and we got a young fellow who was a student of Joe's. We have one of his paintings at home, very nice fellow, and he's taking half the load, which means I have very few classes, and I'm just delighted. My voice is a little hoarse because I have had my first week of teaching, which is all a lot of talking, introductory remarks, so my voice is just a little bit used up. We've been in class for about a week now, and I'm very pleased. I have seniors every day who take one course, one term, one another, and then one the third term. This first term is Modern Art History, which is not a studio course, and I'm enjoying it very much. Last year was the first time I taught it. And then I have 2 fifth grades once a week and 2 sixth grades once a week. Class sizes range from 11 to 13 for those kids, so it's just a joy. It's not crowded, it's quiet. It's just a very pleasant teaching experience. I'm not there all day by any means. I get to exercise in the morning, get to keep up the house, I get to bake, get to work on my own work. And yet I still have this wonderful contact with the kids. So I'm very pleased with this year's schedule. Right after my decision to cut down teaching is when I got asked to have this exhibit. So I really needed the time. I had 31 pieces in this show. And then, once I knew about that, early in the summer, I was asked by a man from the Oregon Arts Commission in Salem if I would like to prepare a show which he would send on tour, which was just a terrific breakthrough for me. And so that will be 35 pieces, which are due the 15th of October. I have 22 finished, so I have the rest of the matting and some drawing to do. Plus, I have to encase them in mylar, transparent mylar, and put little grommets in them for hanging and get them cased up and sent. And they will be booked, hopefully, for about a year, year and a half. And it's to be all over the western states, which includes Montana, Idaho, all down the coast into the southwest. So it's a terrific opportunity, and I'm very excited. I just have to meet my deadline, but I'm very able to do it by having these half days of work. So my work is really starting to grow. Hopefully you'll like what I send when I send it. I've got my October 15th deadline to meet. I don't want to send you a second-rate drawing, so it's very likely that I'll get that over with. And unless I just have tremendous steam and keep producing, it will be after October 15th that I'll prepare a current piece for you and send it to you. So don't worry, it'll come. It might not come immediately. Just a minute. According to your tape, it might be a year, or maybe a little over a year, that you will wait until perhaps you come. I realize if jobs keep happening or staying, you'll want to stay there. But you know it's been almost 4 years now, and we would be so happy to have you here. I know you're anxious for all of us to come, but most of us are involved in independent work, like Joe, in a way that he can't leave. This year, we have had one half Friday vacation where we've gone away for a weekend, a long weekend. When a person works for himself like Joe does and depends upon clients, it is very hard to just disappear for, say, a month. The only time it could happen is if he had some sort of substitute he could depend upon to carry on for him. And just like any other field, a professional field, it's very hard not to be nervous about anyone. If they were good enough to depend on, they'd be on their own. Otherwise, they'd have no reason to have part-time work from you. So he's a little leery about such an arrangement. A student, he just wouldn't know what they were doing. So we don't take time off. He loves his work. He works a lot in the evenings. I do too, up in my little studio. We love what we do, but of course everyone wants to get away also. I can, because of teaching, I have definite vacations, but he doesn't have such an arrangement. So even though we can save enough perhaps to foot the bill, because we'd love to come, we just don't know how to do it in terms of time and Joe's work. Certainly, if we could, we would, and if we can, we will. But I'll just reinforce that we'd love to have you here, and Solja, as much as you must love your home and being with your family, we're so anxious to meet you and get to know you, and just to show you our own world over here and take you for walks and show you our old houses and our people and our food and just so many things, and just to be with you. So please know you're welcome anytime, and we hope you come. I'm trying to think what would be of special news to tell you. Sometimes you run out. I noticed a few ums on your tape, and I now know it's very hard to just keep jabbering on. I don't know offhand what to say. I should tell you the color of our house. It was kind of decayed, dirty, landlord green and gray, just horribly dull. It is now, all the siding is a deep smoky blue, not like a royal blue, but a duller, deep value range of blue. Well, but it's bluer than that. It's not really gray. It's a warm, deep blue. All the trim is a chocolatey brown. Then a little teeny hints of third trim, third color. The gutters and little pieces of wooden inserts and so on are kind of a light purple or a medium purple. So it's very rich and deep and most pleasant. The landscaping Joe was referring to involves growth on the arbor we built. We extended our porch, built a lovely arbor, and hope to have nice greenery growing over it. Um, the front lawn, which is a slight hill, will be removed and replaced by low ground covers, little oozy things. The front walk, which is kind of broken up old concrete, will be replaced by brick, and little stepping stones going around the sides and the back, which are now just mud paths. So it should be very pleasant when it's done. This is the only thing, the major thing we've had contracted out. Most of the interior we're doing, except for a few things like wiring that had to be done. We've completed the first floor on the inside, but haven't gone upstairs yet. It's still kind of pink and green, but we have to get up steam for it. It's very slow. We have been busy. As I mentioned, Joe works a lot. Sometimes not, sometimes every single night. Any news about old friends? We don't see many. We saw Denny at the bas mitzvah and Karen. He looks very well. He looks quite slender. He has been ill. He had a back problem where I guess he had surgery, but he looks just fine now. I guess he just had a recuperation period. Both of them seem far less what we thought they were when we were young. Maybe we were just nasty and catty. But they don't seem social climby. They don't seem terribly self-conscious. They seem relaxed and quite pleasant, although we don't really know them well. Anita and Devin were officially divorced at least a year ago. Devin has since remarried a very young girl. Apparently he has sort of a problem, if you want to call it that, about escaping things when they get to be habit and finding some solution. Maybe he likes to be in charge or the king or the teacher. He had that kind of air socially, if you remember. He was always asking the questions, never terribly involved or vulnerable himself. Anita looks just beautiful, of course, very happy. She's gotten involved with work with people. She's worked out at Western State, been taking courses in different psychology things, very interested in group therapy. Her kids have opened up a lot. They're not so shy and composed, more like normal kids. She's been dating a most warm and charming fellow who is a psychiatrist, very pleasant, very unlike Devin, very affectionate and outgoing, who also is recently divorced. So it will take time for them to decide whether they should get married, but she's in good shape. I don't really see any old Tacoma friends other than Anita or any old friends of yours. Um, I'll stop and think again, just a minute. I can tell you a little bit about Cousin Lawrence and Cousin Judy. They were at the Bas Mitzvah and they were at Jack and Lily's for the dinner beforehand. Susan is very pretty still. She looks just as I remember her before. Lawrence looks just like you, in my opinion, very much like you. Very much good old Lawrence, although he's a grown man. Very handsome, very dapper and successful and swinging and all that, but good old Lawrence still. They have a little girl who you could just pinch because she's just very Lawrencey. Very pretty in a homely sort of way. I don't know how else to say it. Not pretty in the usual pretty, pixie pretty. She's just adorable pretty the way nice little Jewish Lawrence girls would be pretty. Very adorable. The little baby wasn't there. I guess they had her at home with the babysitter. And Cousin Judy seems the same too. Their kids weren't there, were they, Mom? But she and Jack were there, and they hoped they might come down to see my show, so it'd be nice to visit them because I really don't know them very well. Alan looks very much like Dad, except not heavy, but the balding and the settling in of features are amazing. You know, he's really reached that age where the young, good-looking boy has given away to a real Warnick, big-lipped kind of face, and it's kind of funny to see how that settles in. Jack is just totally silver-haired now. He's not balding, but he's very, very silver. the little boys in their family remind me of you when you were little. Craig and Mark are very slender and wiry and quick, and their manners remind me of you. Todd is huskier and more kind of contained, more like Jack in his personality. Nothing special to say about Lily. She's just same old Lily. We, well, yeah, she's teaching half time up at Charles Wright in Tacoma and seemingly enjoying it. We really didn't have that much time to talk because of all the activity up there. But they all seem very much the same. I'll give it to Mom now. There's a little bit of time on the tape. So here's Mom.
Hello, Fred and Sulja. I just don't have any more to say, particularly because they've covered the subject that I didn't take care of, except to tell you that I did go to the Sunday school picnic when I first came there, and I saw Henry Hawes and Katie with their three little children, and they all are, everybody in the family is just as blonde as they can be. The little ones look just like uh, their parents, and they're very cute. Henry is building a new house, I understand, just has the foundation, and I understand, and it's over in the district, oh, say near a Highland Hill golf course used to be, on that particular spot overlooking the bay. Miriam and Hartley look just the same as ever. They look fine. Miriam real pretty, and Hartley has gotten a little older looking, but not too much. Their children are growing up on us, and they're building a house too in that same area as Henry's. I saw a lot of others at the Sunday school picnic. Denny's kids, and they're awfully cute little kids. They all look like little Seinfelds. Denny was home in bed at the time. He was just recuperating from his operation, but he's getting along fine. He was at the Bas Mitzvah and did he was standing around all the time. And I didn't get to tell you that Grandma is feeling the same as ever. She's fine, and when I talked to her, she said she was lonesome, which is natural, but she knows that I'm going to stay up here just for this nice little vacation and visit with the family. Your brothers are fine, everybody is fine, and of course Elsa looks the same as she did before, only slimmer and trimmer and glamorous looking, I think. And Joe is looks just the same as before. They're a sweet, wonderful couple, compatible, interested in their work, and I'm very happy to be with them and see them doing so nicely with their home and their work, and especially with Elsa and her art. I'm just thrilled with the work that she's done and the favorable comments on everything that was shown at the gallery. It's been a real wonderful experience for me to be up here, just thrilled every day. And I just wish you could be over here too, and maybe you might decide to come over. If you don't, well, I'll have to come over there next year. But if you can make it over here, you'll see everybody, and that will be a thrill for everybody. My best love to you and Sulja, and I'll be writing to you after I get back to Elsinore, I guess. Much love and kisses. Bye now.
Okay, there's not much time, Fred. I'll just say it's been wonderful talking to you, and your tape was just a delight for all of us, all five of us, or whatever that heard it. Again, my very big thanks for all your kindness on my little day on Sunday. It was a wonderful thrill for me. Um, Certainly, I'm very honored and very pleased that you took that trouble. We should try and talk more often. I find it easier to do the tape than the writing because there's always so much to say. Goodbye. This is it.